Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish, continuing Otaro's route, and we ran away. We grabbed Otaro and ran, because we didn't want him to die. So, shit's going down. I mean, everybody figured out that Otaro was a Blightfall, so good for them, because we weren't saying anything. And, it makes sense. I mean, that she would grab him and run because she wasn't thinking straight, and it's kind of like running away with Tominari, where all of a sudden you're going to be like, that didn't seem like a smart idea, and everyone will forgive you because you magically save Otaro somehow. Because otherwise, how is he going to escape from that scenario? You have the whole entire Oniwaban on you. They should be able to kick his ass. All of them against him, no matter how strong he is. So there was really no way of, he was going to be able to escape without her jumping in, so. Anyway, after that incident, Otaro and I arrived at a hill without any people nearby. Thank goodness. It seems we've lost the Oniwaban. When I turned back to look at Ito, the members of the Oniwaban were nowhere to be found. Otaro also checked for pursuers as he slowly lowered me onto the ground. I didn't expect you to have a smoke bomb ready. I was surprised. Are you stupid or something? In contrast to how relaxed I was now that we had escaped the battlefield, Otaro's expression was still tense. He stared at me like he was looking at something incomprehensible. I mean, we can't really fault him for that. I've never seen anyone jump into a deadly battle like that before, and for good reason. Do you understand how close you were to dying? On top of that, it was the perfect chance to kill me. What are you trying to do? Again, very valid and logical. I mean, I just thought I had to save you. But there's no reason for you to save me, is there? Or, no, don't tell me you're still in love with me. He said the words without any regard, and my heart suddenly felt like it would stop. That's not it! That has nothing to do with this! I just wanted to save you, so I saved you! There's no other reason than that! What? It was the honest truth, but Otaro gave me a stern look. No, it's not the honest truth, it's not the full truth. You're like, what? No, there's nothing to do with that. I just wanted to save you. Why? Just because I love, no, I see your point. So it wasn't out of love, and it wasn't out of self-interest. That makes even less sense. And then Otaro suspiciously peered into my face. For some reason, there was something like panic in his eyes. Just, what are you thinking? I don't know. I was scared. I don't know. I mean, she was scared, but I don't know. I don't know. The answer, literally, I have no clue what she was thinking, and I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know anymore. I can't tell what you're thinking, and you're scary. To tell the truth, I don't know how to deal with you. But when I thought about how you would die if I didn't do anything, my body just moved on its own. Those were the only words I could say to him. But instead of listening and understanding, Otaro furiously furrowed his eyebrows even more. Pathetic. You saved an enemy because of some worthless reason like that? You wouldn't punish a member of the Hakuseki clan for something as trivial as that, but unbelievable. You're so naive. Otaro, they might punish me for something as trivial as this. Especially if they don't find him and kill him and more bad shit happens. Shit. Why am I, of all people, being strung around by someone as soft-hearted and stupid as you? All I wanted was to exact my revenge. I never wanted for anything other than that. And now you're wondering if now you want other things? Is that it? Are you falling in love with me? Oh my god. Unlike how he was before, Otaro was now muttering to himself as if he needed convincing. Oddly, he looked more like a small child who had gotten lost than an enemy of the shogunate. And the thing is, again, I think, like, he was born of anger and evil because of whatever happened to the little girl that kind of was creating him. You know what I mean? So, you know that there's, like, hurt in there, and that's why he became the Blightfall that he is. So, if you can hurt and be born as an evil Blightfall, you're probably actually a marshmallow in there. We can fix this! We can fix him. I mean, to be fair, when you hand me a boyfriend that's trash, our first thought is always, we can fix him. He could make me worse, but we could also fix him. And in this case, while in other games you're like, he's probably going to make me a little bit worse. She's so soft and marshmallow, she gonna make him better. There's no fucking way she is not going to give him the diabetes that she is full of. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way she's going to go evil and hurt people. She's too soft and wholesome. So, like, there's no real gray area here. I mean, little specks of gray, sure, because everybody's got them. But, like, an area enough for him to manipulate and make us grayer, I guess? Nah, ain't got that. Ain't got that. Otaro... Shut up! Be quiet! Any more useless talk from you and I'll treat you like the other day! Otaro, don't push yourself too much. He really was like a child. As soon as I started feeling that way toward him, I could no longer leave him alone. I grasped Otaro's hand and held it tightly in my own. Then, Otaro, his body trembling, glared at me with scorn. He doesn't like that he's feeling things that aren't anger. What are you doing? Let me go! But in contrast to his harsh tone and antagonistic expression, Otaro didn't attempt to shake off my hands. What's wrong with you? How could you do this to me? I played you for a fool. I've done so many horrible things to you, so why... Why are you being so nice to me? Then, Otaro was rendered speechless. Our hands still clasped together. Could it be that he was accepting me? When the thought occurred to me, it made me want to keep holding his hand. I unconsciously tightened my fingers around his. Ow. Sorry. She squeezed his hand so tight he's whining. It's usually the other way around, you know? At Otaro's quiet outburst, I reflexively loosened my grip. And then, when I looked into his face to see his expression... He's gonna kiss me again, for realsies? To my surprise, a single tear was falling from Otaro's eye. See, 'cause he's soft inside. But he still looked annoyed. The contrast made it painful to look at him. Otaro, are you crying? Huh? Of course not. Then what's that tear on your face? How should I know? I'm not crying. How should I know what the tears are? I don't know, but I'm not crying. As he spat out a half-hearted denial, he harshly wiped away the tear. But the more he wiped them away, the more tears started to pour out from the corners of his eyes, like the bursting of a broken dam. Shit! What's wrong with me, man? I don't get it! It's my own body, so why can't I stop crying? Some of us ask ourselves that question all the time. Like, why? I just can't stop. Why? Sometimes, listen, tears have a mind of their own. Doesn't matter if it's your body. It's not your choice if you cry. You just do. What happened to me? As he continued, his eyes became bright red. So adorable. It was no surprise, given how much he rubbed at them. That looks painful. If only there was some way to stop him from crying, hold him. I came up with an idea, and I once again extended my arm in Otaro's direction. What do you want? I placed my hand on Otaro's cheek and slowly brought my face closer to it. Otaro's eyes were as red as a rabbit's, and as I stared into his eyes... Oh, CG time? Oh, look at his little face! It's so cute! Oh, I gently kissed underneath them. It's salty. When I licked at the tears on my lips, they tasted like my own, that I knew all too well. So even if you're a Blightfall, the taste of tears is the same. I was strangely accepting of that fact. I felt like I could understand how humans, Formfolk, and Blightfall were all fundamentally the same. But in contrast to how I felt, Otaro was shaking with rage. I don't know if it's rage. You seriously, what do you think you're doing? You must be insane. Calling me insane is going a bit too far. Huh. When I looked at Otaro in front of me, I couldn't believe my eyes. His face had become bright red. Otaro was embarrassed, and he was blushing. Oh, he really is! It's so cute! Weirdo. What? You're the weirdo. I mean, you went in for a kiss yourself, and you licked the wounds on my face. Why would you get embarrassed from something like this? Those are completely unrelated, and I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm glad she laughed because I was trying so hard. I'm like, this is the most adorable and stupid thing ever. It's so adorably stupid. Like, I love it. And I don't mean stupid as in like, oh my god, this is so dumb. I mean like, this is so stupid. Stop it. Because otherwise I'm going to like fall over and giggle. Look, it's so cute. Stop it. It's kind of like when I tell my bird, like, you're so stupid. Because, like, you're stupid, but you're so cute sometimes. And it just makes, like, I think my head might explode with how adorable you are. That's how this scene feels. Simmer down, though. You were doing fine. I know. But I wanted to pet you because you're so cute. But then you just get all mad at me for trying to pet you. But you're so cute! Don't laugh! The more I thought about it, the less mysterious Otaro became. Suddenly, he even seemed cute. It wasn't like I'd forgotten everything he'd done to me up to that point, but it was hard to ignore the version of Otaro who stood in front of me. But at the same time, the world in front of me started to narrow and blur, because we got tears. It's any kind of his body fluids, I guess. No, those dreams, they're happening again? As soon as I realized that, my consciousness was drawn away. Lord Hibie? Lord Hibina? The dream started at the clan's settlement. Though it was in the middle of the night, I could see a woman who was devoutly offering her prayers in front of the shrine. Oh, okay, so it's a woman, not a girl. A cute dog-shaped Natsuke was hanging from the woman's waist. So this is something she's had her whole life. Which meant the woman was the girl who had appeared before, but grown up. Is this supposed to be our mother? That would make sense. That, because it's not us. But like, you know what I mean? And then because like, okay, so in Tominari's, they theorized that maybe like, oh my god, maybe your mother's still alive. And then nothing ever happened with that. And then if this was like our mother as a child had that and then grew up and whatever and, you know, whatever, then okay, all right, I'd buy that maybe. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, doesn't that make Otaro my brother? I know what you're thinking. That shouldn't bother me. And it really doesn't. But, like, actually makes it better. But, but you know what I mean? Like, but then it would be, because, like, I guess I'm just trying to find a link of, like, why did Tominari's route bring up our mom and everything, and then they just kind of dropped that? You know what I mean? So, but fair enough, mate. They've been much better at tying things together in this game, so when they bring up stuff that then never is brought back up again, you know. And yes, there were points where there were things that I was like, did they mention this? And you guys have pointed out, yes, they did, but it was easily forgettable because they mentioned it like once. And I mean, okay, to be fair, they also with the tramp stamps, like they brought that up like once, and then only in Tominari's route, I think, did it come up again. And it was like, so, okay, they're not the best at bringing up stuff and tying it into the main story and keeping consistent, but those are minor points, and I feel like our mother maybe being alive or whatever, seemed like such like it was going to be a thing. Instead of like, let's go find out what happened, and then it was more like, let's go find her, and then maybe she, and then nothing happened, and it was like, was that really just? I feel like they could have just done it better if it was just to get Tominari to remember who he was, you know? But that's just me. Anyway, which meant the woman was the girl who had appeared before, but grown up. As I thought that, the two gods materialized from the back of the shrine, just as they had before. But if we're watching from an external perspective and we're seeing her, we would recognize, well, maybe not, because we don't really remember our mother, so. This is unusual. I can't say I approve of offering your prayers at this hour. But I'm glad to be able to see you again. So what did you want to talk about today? I'd like to ask for your help in forging a bond. Forging bonds? With who? From where? Oh, no, I forgot to ask for a name. Would it be difficult to do without it? Well, it's not impossible, but... What do you mean? You want to forge a bond with someone whose name you don't even know? Yeah, because he's just that hot. Me seeing Otome games that never get localized and being like, but the art's so pretty, I don't even know the name of the game or who anybody is, but like, please localize it, what the fuck? Fair. Yes, they were a wonderful person. Is it our mother? Then that would make sense because, like, I met this hot dude who, like, wasn't part of the clan, because if they were part of the clan, you would know his name, because there's not that many of you, I went to sell threads in the city today, but on my way there, someone discovered that I was a member of the Hakuseki clan and tried to take me away. How horrible. At least you're safe now. And don't tell me you want to forge a connection with that scum. Of course not. Actually, someone came and rescued me in that moment. He was the kindest soul, and his threads were a pure white. It was my first time seeing someone so pure, and he seemed to take a liking to me as well. Oh god, it is our mom, isn't it? So Otaro's like my brother? Because, like, Spacey's into that shit. He's our form folk bro, but, like, I'm just saying, that makes it hotter. You guys didn't warn me about that. You couldn't have warned me. You would have been like, trust me, wink, wink, you're gonna like it. Because then I would have been like, what is he, my brother? And it would have just ruined the whole thing. I would have been slightly more spoiled. I would have figured out more shit. You know what I mean? I would have known from the very beginning, the second that girl showed up, like, oh, this is our mom when she was a kid, because you guys, wink, wink, I know when you wink at me like that, what you're talking about. So, Or you didn't consider the fact that, like, your form folk, that your family may... Although Tominari's kind of like my brother then, too, actually. Wait a minute. How? Really? The game's like, we're going to give you two characters that are like, you're like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Tominari, but again, I forget that he exists sometimes. Poor Tominari. No, it's not really your fault. And then, like, Otaro's just not my type normally, and then you're like, but these ones are kind of like your brothers, because they're like your form folk bros. Like, your parents created them, so... Oh. So you kind of gave me, like, pseudo-brothers. You gave me two of them, and, like... We don't know for a fact that fucking Otaro's our brother, but the thought did not cross my mind in Tominari's route, which is a shock. Because, I'm a degenerate. But anyway... I want to be connected with that person. That means... Do you mean you want to be married to him? When Lord Habie leaned forward to ask his question, the woman nodded in embarrassment. Her expression was that of a young woman in love. I see. Hippie, are you jealous because she was always your favorite and you're, like, in love with our mom? Aww. That's some fucked up weird shit. Oh. I'm sorry, but if that's the case, I'm afraid I can't help you. I mean, I'm just saying, like... Hibie, there's nothing wrong with him because, like, we know he's only being trash because he's being controlled by Otaro. Okay. So he's not like a bad guy. But like between the two of them, like Hibina's over here being hot, though. Let's be real. Hibina's being the super pretty one. Hibia's like the adorable one, though. Like they're both pretty, don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose, Hibina's more my type. I don't know. There's something about him, and it's like, stop being hot over there. I see you. Gonna have a thing for a god? Could be worse. I've had things for my brothers, so this is like so unproblematic compared to the shit I normally do. I mean, to be fair, you could be in the middle of that one, in the middle of this man sandwich. That's fine. Whatever. Why is that? Did you forget the rules of the clan? Members of the Hakuseki clan can only marry within the clan. That's the law, isn't it? Okay, Hibina. Jesus fucking Christ. Hibie, I'm gonna need you to break my bonds with the clan. As the god protectorate of the clan, I cannot acknowledge your love. You know, Hibina, you're being a bit of a bitch. Of course I know that, but must I follow the rules so strictly? What did you say? So much time has passed since the dangers of the Blightfall. In this era, is there any point in protecting the purity of our blood? In fact, isn't it causing everyone undue hardship? Just the other day I heard that my neighbor's daughter was taken away, all because of her unique appearance. If such sad things keep happening, then there's no need to force ourselves to obey the rules. I mean, like, she ain't wrong, but she's also, like, not coming at it from a valid reason. I saw this guy and I'm in love with him and like, fuck your rules, but Daddy, I love him! Listen, mermaid, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, she ain't wrong about the rules. Like, the rules are stupid, though. We're gonna die out from inbreeding. So maybe, like, the fuck, you know? And hey, if you have a stupid reason to get to the right answer, you still got to the right answer, you know what I mean? So, like, whatever. And love makes you do stupid shit, and I'll do stupid things for Kinji, so fair enough. If our blood mixes with others and we look the same as everyone else, strange people should no longer target us like they do now, and the magic won't weaken. I mean, sure, am I as powerful as normal Hakuseki people? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know because I didn't have the proper training to be able to use my powers. We don't know that if I was trained by someone that I would have the same powers, you know? It's precisely because the Blightfall are gone now that we should find a new way to live. Am I wrong? Don't twist our logic. In the end, all you want is to marry some man you love. There's nothing someone like you could ever say that would convince us. Man. You know what's really funny about this? You thought Hibina was the nice one and Hibia was the asshole, and now you're like, the roles are reversed. Hibina's being a little bit of a bitch. And I mean that he's a big fat fucking bitch. But Lord Hibina's statement had likely hit the mark. The woman immediately tried to retort, but it seemed that she couldn't say anything else. Upon seeing the woman lower her head in sadness, Lord Hibia walked in between them to mediate. Also, though, Hibina looks hot when he's angry, I'm just saying. Hibina, you shouldn't yell at her like that. And I think she has a point. Hibia, in the long history of the clan, there were plenty of girls like her who fell in love with an outsider. Remember? I had to cut all those ties, but Hibia's like, I had to break hearts and I don't like it. Aww. You know what's really funny? Hibina's over there like, fuck, you will marry within this clan, young lady. Fuck, I will sever all those ties. And Hibia's over there like, why can't we just let people love who they want to love? As he's snipping threads and like... You guys got assigned the wrong motherfucking jobs, because Hibina is absolutely like the one who's out there like wanting the bonds broken, and Hibia's like, just let people love each other. Why do we have to be like this? And it seems like Hibia would be the one forging bonds with anybody. Like, yeah, love anybody, cool. Outside the clan, inside the clan, whatever you want, girl. And Hibina would be the one being like, well, I will break all these bonds because they are wrong. Well, no wonder Hibia was easily manipulated by evil. He's like, I don't want to do my job. My job is rude and I don't like it. Aww. What a soft little nugget. You know? I like the twist. I love it a lot, to be fair, because, like, when he's there, he's like, I hate you guys. I want everyone to die. You're like, what a cunt. And you just, like, you're like, you hate him in the very beginning because you're like, this guy sucks. And now you get here and you're like, I feel bad for hating you before. You're totally you actually are totally misunderstood. Like, aw. And to be fair, Otaro's the big bad evil, and you're like, but I feel for him too. Good job with making your villains lovable. You know, and it's not like we love a villain because you're like, sometimes you just gotta be bad. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, you're so evil and you murder people and I'm totally down. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, I'm gonna let my dark side out. No, these are like the most wholesome fucking villains ever. You know? Like, they're doing horrible things and they're angry and it's like, yeah, but like, you're angry for a valid reason? And most people are like, yeah, nope, I get it. I would be mad too. And you let your anger get a hold of you and it happens and it's so realistic and like honest and like bravo game, like damn good job, like shit. And they're totally redeemable, and meanwhile Hibina's over here supposed to be the good guy and he's kind of an ass. Also realistic, you know? Oh my god. But because of that, everyone suffered. We forced them to throw away their own happiness for the sake of the clan's continuation. And yet, in these times when there are barely any Blightfall, is there truly a need to make them go so far? Personally, I want to support her decision. So I'm curious, though, how her going off and being happy made... I mean, I don't think this is what made Otaro angry. You know, maybe Otaro's mad at Hibina, if you think about it. Because well, no, because if it is our mother, she would have gone on her own. She would have gone off and married our father or whatever, you know what I mean? Also, why are there yin and yang kind of symbols? Like, well, they're Magatamas, that's what they are. But for some reason, my brain sees them and wants to connect them like a yin yang, but it's not. They're just Magatamas. But it's like, I was like, why are they not opposite so they can connect together and be the pieces of the same whole? But like, I guess they're not supposed to be fair. But is the yin yang Chinese? It's not Japanese, is it? No, maybe not. I don't know. But, like, they're the same shape, so you see where I was coming from, right? Where my brain was like, huh, but they're just Magatamas. Okay. So, could you support her too, Hibina? I love the fact that Hibina is the soft one. So adorable. With the shitty job. Are you seriously saying that? Look at it, and look how, okay, like... Look at how adorable Hibie is right now. And like Hibina with his bitch face is still hot, don't get me wrong. Of course, I want her to be happy. This whole entire part is just gonna make me die because everybody's so fucking adorable. As if to prove his own feelings, Lord Hibie stared at Lord Hibina straight on. Despite the fact that it was the middle of the night, his eyes sparkled like stars. Just looking at them communicated his honest and straightforward feelings. If you insist, then I guess I don't mind. Lord Hibina looked away and nodded, though he had a conflicted expression on his face. Aw, you can't say no to Hibia either. There was nothing to fear when she earned permission from the god of forging bonds. Lord Hibia turned to look at the girl with a joyful expression. Hibina's like, I don't like it, though. Well, and Hibie, to be fair, I had to break all those bonds and I didn't like that. I'm asking you to do one thing you don't like, and I had to do 100 things I don't like. Good news. It appears your wish will come true. Thank you so much, Lord Hibie and Lord Hibina. I have no idea how to thank you. But are you prepared? Huh? No one in the clan will celebrate your love. In other words, in order for you to be happy, you must sever your bonds with everyone in the clan. I'll help you with that, of course, but you'll never be able to see the father and mother you love so dearly again. Abandon everything so that you can choose him. Are you prepared for that, Setsu? Oh my god, it's our mom! I mean, obviously, because I pegged that as soon as she showed up and said she was in love with some dude that she has no idea what his name is, and I went, oh, it's our mom. So, but was that good? Did I act well? Did you believe it? Were you confused? Every once in a while, I like doing shit like that when it's like, what? You're probably all deaf because that was very loud, but seriously though, were you confused for a second? But you were like, didn't you guess that? Why are you surprised? Yeah, every once in a while I got to try out my acting props. I don't have any, but I got to try them out once in a while. My acting chops, not my props. Whatever. Words. I can't word. The words were like an execution order. The woman, Setsu's, expression stiffened. Did you not catch that, girlfriend? I'm going to need you to register. She's like, the woman's expression stiffened, and then doesn't she not? I awakened suddenly from the dream. Maybe because it's at the end, she's like, and then she hasn't processed it. The moment I slowly blinked my eyes, I had returned to where I began. Otaro was still standing next to me, just like before. He was looking around in surprise. Did he see it too? What was that just now? Oh, because we were holding his hand, he saw it. Huh? Otaro, did you see that too? But Otaro didn't answer my question. Instead, he lowered his head as if he was deep in thought. If he saw that vision, it makes sense that he'd want to think about a lot of things. Girl, have you not registered that they said Setsu? But why was Otaro able to see it this time? No, wait. Maybe the condition for seeing the visions is actually... But more than anything else, I was concerned about the woman's name. Okay. Setsu. Oddly enough, that was the same name as my mother's, who had supposedly died. Supposedly died. But see, they're bringing up supposedly died. But also, this was her past. On top of that, if I ignored the unique attributes of the Hakuseki clan, she looked remarkably like me. So is it right to assume that the woman was my mother? Does that mean Otaro was the Natsuke my mother used? In any case, the first thing I should do is ask Otaro about my mother. Grabs him. What do you know about my mom, you son of a bitch? Otaro... But when I made up my mind and started to talk, I heard a crowd of footsteps approaching. When I looked up, everyone in the Oniwaban was racing toward us from Ito. Man, we can't even have a conversation! If we made contact now, a fight would be unavoidable. They don't give up. Of course they're not going to give up. They're trying to kill you, dumbass. They're going to be like, oh, he ran, I guess. Whatevs. As soon as he recognized them, Otaro turned on his heel. For a moment he looked at me with a complicated expression, but then immediately ran off. Huh? However, just then something came loose from Otaro's waist and fell onto the grass. Did he drop it on purpose? I immediately picked it up and saw that it was the Natsuke. It seemed that the intense battle from before had caused the string tied to the Natsuke to snap. Okay, so he didn't drop it on purpose. I was wondering if he dropped it on purpose, but now we have what makes him him, so no matter what they do, I don't think they can kill him. Though it was covered in mud when it fell, the Natsuke itself didn't appear to be damaged. Otaro... I enveloped the Natsuke, the item that could be considered Otaro's true body, in both of my hands. Aww, his life is literally in our hands now. After I regrouped with the Oniwaban and returned, I immediately lowered my head. I'm truly sorry, everyone. I acted so selfishly. You're gonna have to explain yourself. No, I still didn't fully grasp the situation. There was no doubt that my conduct was not befitting that of a member of the Oniwaban. And we can't even be like, come on, like, you guys haven't acted with your dicks before. I acted with my vagina, whatever. And they're gonna be like, or what now? Huh? Who? Because they have no emotions. Miyagi's gonna be over there like, no, I get it. I do the same thing for my wife and my daughter, no question. Like, yeah. Kyuhiko would vehemently deny ever doing anything for any reason aside from stabbing and anger. Like, he's... If anyone's gonna get taken over by Blightfall, it's gonna be him. He's so fucking angry all the time. You know he's a goddamn cinnamon bun inside, and that's why I want to date the man. Damn it! I just want to see what a soft little fucking melty goo puddle he is. I had let the leader of the Blightfall escape, but strangely, no one in the Oniwaban showed any dissatisfaction toward me, which is odd. It's fine. We're just as at fault for keeping our plans a secret from you. We knew there was a chance you would do something like that. What? Uh-huh. Because you know that I love Otaro? Am I that obvious? Oh my god, am I that obvious? It was our mistake for not being able to eliminate Otaro on the spot. Nothing more. Eliminate? When I saw how Kiyoshiro spoke of such a cruel thing without even batting an eye, a shiver went down my spine. You know what? I'm gonna let it slide, though, because Otaro killed Kiyoshiro. Kiyoshiro's allowed to be a bitch about this right now. And to be fair, he's not being anything about this. He's just being extremely robotic, which is basically Kiyoshiro in a nutshell, so. But it was something to expect from members of the Oniwaban. For starters, how did you all figure out that Otaro was a Blightfall? You didn't look like you noticed it all until now. And to tell the truth, we've suspected him for a while. His testimony when Ruriko became a Blightfall his strange actions during the 100 ghost stories, and the unnatural encounter we had with him when we were chasing after the Blightfall's footprints were more than enough to deepen our suspicion. You're like, thank God you guys are all smart. If it was just one thing, then we could chalk it up to a coincidence. But in Otaro's case, there were just too many signs to ignore. We didn't tell you or Otaro, but we've discussed this case many times over. I mean, I have a feeling, you know, the one where, the part where Kinji got the thing and was like, oh, there's just a quick meeting. You guys stay here. I'm going to pop over. That was them meeting about us. And that was like the game being like, they're meeting in secret, which I was kind of like, huh, they're having a meeting, but we're not invited. And then nothing happened. And it was like, oh, okay, never mind. And I just forgot about it. Hearing that, I remembered the time when Kinji was summoned alone to go share intel. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. In the end, it was brushed aside as Miyagi's misunderstanding, but they must have actually been talking about Otaro. Furthermore, there were some points with Tanichibo that didn't add up. He was suspected to be Lord Yoshimune's illegitimate son, which he himself believed. Someone like that rallying against the shogunate without mentioning a single word about Lord Yoshimune? It's not logical. You're right. When all the points were laid out like that, it was easy to put the pieces together. There was no way an organization like the Oniwaban would overlook that many pieces of evidence. You know what's funnier, though, is we were like, oh, yeah, I was kind of misunderstanding how smart you guys are. Okay, sure. But Otaro, underestimated them? I'm a human. They're robots. It's fine. Like, a human underestimating a robot is one thing. You'd be like, yeah, because I am a human. So I operate within human means, and robots are going to operate in a totally different wavelength. So of course a human is going to underestimate a robot, or not consider things that the robot's going to consider. But Otaro's been hanging out with the robots long enough and been pretending to be a robot and has been undercover as a robot. Therefore, but I think it's because he's been working with them for years that he underestimated them, was like, oh, they didn't catch on the first day I was here, so obviously they're not going to catch on now. And yeah, in the first couple of years he was working with them, they were like, whatever, Otaro's just one of us. And then all of a sudden now, when things are coming to a head and everything and getting heated, they're like, wait, now he's sus as fuck, you know. If he just wasn't, if he was just going about his business like normal, but he was never going to stay that way, you know what I mean? With the same amount of information, even I'd almost realized what Otaro really was. By the way, we found Tanichibo collapsed in the Samurai Town Manor, so he's under our protection. He's extremely frail, so we can't say if he'll pull through. So, what exactly do you know? Me? Yes. Judging by the way you're acting, you've known for a while now that Otaro was a Blightfall, right? And after Otaro disappeared, seems that the two of you were talking quite passionately about something. What did he tell you? From the way our conversation was going, it was the obvious question to ask. I couldn't just refuse to answer after they told me what I wanted to know. I would be like, I was suspicious of him when I found the rules in the book about the Hakuseki clan, and it said he was made from a heat pack, but the heat pack was destroyed, and that's when he told me. And threatened me. I understand. I'll tell you everything. I tightly clenched my fists on top of my knees and quietly nodded. After that, I explained everything that had happened between me and Otaro. And then he kissed me, and Kiyobuta's over there. Oh! Stop it! I don't need to know. And then he bit me, and then I bit him, because I was like, how dare you fucking kiss me? And then I ingested some of his blood, so I'm probably a little fucked up right now. And then I saw visions. That time when Otaro revealed to me that he was a Blightfall, how Otaro had tried to get me to join his side, and that as time passed, how I became capable of seeing into his past. I still haven't confirmed with him that his owner was my mom, so I shouldn't say anything about that yet. No, I feel like you should. You should be like, I'm kind of suspicious what I saw in the past. He might be tied to my mother. But I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I would, And I shouldn't tell them that Otaro's main body is an Itsuke. Okay, that's fair. You can keep that to yourself. I see. So that's what happened. After I explained everything, Yabuta and the other members of the Oniwaban nodded with interest. But why did you stay quiet until now? Did Otaro manage to charm you into switching sides? You're like, no, but I remember the good Otaro, and I was also scared. Of course not. I was just looking for a way to solve things without fighting. I thought I could save Otaro, because he's still my friend, even though he's evil. And I really don't think he's evil. I think he's a form folk. At the time, I jumped out to try and protect Otaro without a second thought. But when I look back on it, I think that what I did was for the best. Because even if we stop Otaro, that doesn't mean we can stop Lord Hibiye. And even if by some stroke of luck we capture Otaro, he wouldn't tell us anything. In fact, it's more likely he would have killed himself the moment we captured him. If that happened, then what of Lord Hibiye? I don't think we would have been able to solve the Blightfall case. Because Lord Hibiye's being puppeteered, and he doesn't want to do what he's doing, and we have to find a way to kind of save him too, I don't regret protecting Otaro. I'll admit that's understandable. See, me and Hachi's like, I do the same thing for my wife or kid. But it appears it was all for nothing. Since we've declared our intentions to fight, the only path left for us now is to go up against Otaro and Hibiye. And all that's left is for you to fight as a member of the Oniwaban. Don't think too much about it. There was no way I could counter Yabuta's words. I love how he always just looks so mad all the time. He's got you just want to, just go over there and just, boop, 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 and try to just rub those little forehead wrinkles. He's got those creases between his brows, and you just want to, boop them out. You just want to, nudge them out. Just be like, no, okay, just just scooch him out. Because, after a while, he's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's going to stop. You're like, if you crease your brows like that, you're going to get stuck. Sir, your brows are going to have a permanent crease, and you're not going to be able to uncrease. It's going to be so it's going to be they're going to rust that way. But, I do love his bitch face, but I couldn't nod along. No, I still can't do that. You must be joking. Please, just give me one more chance to talk with Otaro. Just one more. If I can just talk to him one more time, I think I can finally understand everything that's been going on with him. They'd be like, you've been saying that for 3 years! We've given you 84 chances! That's right. If I use that method, I'll definitely be able to see the visions of the past. Even if Otaro himself rejects me, I should be able to see it for sure. And Otaro was crying. A Blightfall? Shedding tears? Do you mean he was crying because he couldn't control his hatred? that's not it. When I held his hand, tears started pouring from his eyes. It seemed like he was confused. It was like he felt guilty that I was being kind to him. I would say that, because does she not theorize that, like, I think he was a form folk. He said he was born a Blightfall, but I think he was a form folk ready to be born. And something terrible happened, and that moment where he should have been born as a form folk made him born as a Blightfall. And if that's the case, that means there's actually a decent form folk being deep down inside that we can save and bring back. He's not just all evil. It's just, he's just wearing a lot of evil makeup we have to hose off him. Perhaps Otaro doesn't actually want any of this to happen. If we can understand each other, we might be able to end the conflict. I will lay it out plain and simple. I cannot agree with your line of thinking. Why is that? Kyoshiro cut me off mid-sentence before I could finish my point. Unlike Miyagi and Yabuta, who appeared swayed by my pleading, shocking, Kyoshiro's expression was stone cold. Kyoshiro's like, I remember in another timeline when he killed me, and I'm still fucking mad about it. I've noticed from my recent observations that it seems you have feelings for Otaro. He ain't wrong. Kill the Blightfall has been the one unshakable creed of the Oniwabon since its inception. There are no exceptions. But that's not... I can't deny that. I kept silent about Otaro up to this point exactly because I knew that they'd say something like this. But in regards to Hibie, you have a point. Huh? If we were to go against a god, even if by sheer luck we were able to exterminate him, it's likely that this entire country will be cursed. In order to avoid that, one could say that it's necessary to obtain information from Otaro. You're like, also we need to free Hibie. He's not doing this because he wants to. Therefore, I will give you one chance, one opportunity to go and retrieve intel on Otaro and Hibie. For a second, I couldn't understand what was being said to me. But when I noticed that not only Kyoshiro, but everyone in the Oniwabon was looking at me with anticipation, I finally understood. I realized that I was being given one last chance. Thank you very much! Otaro will tell me everything, I promise you that. I won't let this opportunity go to waste. He's gonna have to, because otherwise they're gonna kill him, and that would be a bad end. That would be the best for us as well. However, if you cannot accomplish this, we will proceed with eliminating Otaro as we originally planned. I will not allow any interference. Those calmly spoken words were burned into my memory. Don't worry, sweetie, I won't let you have to kill me. After the Oniwabon dispersed, I sat on the veranda by myself. I'd have to contact Otaro one more time. It was easy enough to say, but I had no idea how I could meet him after he fled the Oniwabon. I suppose I have no choice but to use this Netsuke. Otaro's true form, which I kept hidden from the Oniwabon. As I stared at the cute expression of the carved dog, I sorted out the thoughts in my head. Otaro will definitely return to the hill to look for the Netsuke. So, if I just wait there, I should be able to meet him eventually. Spacey, what are you doing here? Hey, other brother! But that was when Tominari came to me from the side and popped into my line of sight. I'm sorry I didn't realize sooner that you were kind of like my brother when my family created you as a form folk. You're technically like my brother, I guess. So, I should have known that all along and loved you a little bit more. I'm sorry. Pats him on his brother head. It still counts. It's a technicality. By the time I'd realized it, Tominari's marble-like eyes were right next to me. I felt like my heart would stop. To be fair, Tominari, the way he acts is like, or you were like the family pet. You're right in there, you're like a cat. Back off. Tominari, why are you still here? Oh, I was a little worried you might be worrying over the mission. I mean, he doesn't know that our family created him, but I feel like he kind of knows somewhere. I mean, I feel like that's why in the very beginning he was like, look at this inro, this is me. And it's because there's something deep inside of him that recognizes you somehow. That's kind of cute. As he said that in a soft voice, Tominari sat down next to me. I was fairly surprised at the warm words and gaze, which were uncharacteristic of a vessel. Yeah, but he's family, so. Thank you for worrying about me.
Don't mention it. I came here because I wanted to. More importantly, what are you holding?
Huh? Before I knew it, Tominari was gazing down at the dog-shaped Netsuke in my hand. Oh no. If he looks too closely at it, he might notice that it's Otaro's. It's nothing. It's just something that I, picked up. You could say that it's Otaro's. It doesn't mean they're gonna know that it's his body, but they're smart enough to figure it out.
Oh, what thing Otaro dropped?
What was that noise you just made? You just made a weird little purr growl. 'Cause you were itching yourself? My bird, obviously. I hid it in my hand and tried to come up with an excuse, but Tominari so easily guessed what it was that I felt a little deflated. I couldn't possibly avoid the question when he asked it so directly. You knew?
Yeah, of course. I'm a vessel, so I can remember things like that. Otaro always wore it, right?
That's right. I forgot that vessels have a good memory. Considering you tried
to hide it, is it something important to Otaro?
Yeah. If he realized it was Otaro's original body, he might confiscate it from me. Curling up from guilt and nervousness, I could only wait for Tominari's reaction.
Spacey, do you like Otaro?
Huh? Why? However, Tominari's question completely defied my expectations. Though I was taken off guard, I returned the question with a question of my own, and Tominari stared straight into my eyes.
Natsuke, that's Otaro's true form, isn't it? You were protecting Otaro during our discussion earlier, so it was a natural conclusion.
Whoops. It seemed that Tominari had asked the question with no ulterior motives. When I looked into his serious eyes, for some reason, I couldn't summon the will to play it off. Rather, I even thought to tell him the truth. I stroked the Natsuke in my hand as if comforting it, and murmured in an attempt to sort out my own feelings. I liked him before I knew the truth. I felt better when talking to him. It was fun being with him. He was kind, and he told me that he liked me. But after I learned all of that was a lie, it's like I don't even understand my own feelings.
He's a Blightfall. There's no helping it if you were lied to.
But it's not just about that anymore.
What do you mean?
Today, when I saw Otaro crying, I started to think that he might actually have his own reasons behind his actions. I want to learn more about him. I want to understand why Otaro's trying to get revenge. I want to know what he's thinking. He did a lot of horrible things to me, but even so, I can't abandon him. If he's crying, then I want to go comfort him. I want to be by his side. And I think I feel this way because I like him. As I continued to speak, word after word, unraveling my thoughts, I finally arrived at how I really felt. Even if everything was a lie, there might be a kernel of truth beyond all that. I felt the same way when I saw Otaro panicking before. So, I couldn't give up on Otaro yet. I wanted to know his true feelings, no matter what would happen as a result.
I see.
Tominari looked so sad. Then, Tominari lowered his gaze, looking somewhat forlorn. Rather than acting as a member of the Oniwabon, Tominari seemed heavily influenced by his own emotions. Even though he was a vessel.
But, do you get it? Otaro isn't your average Blightfall. If what you said earlier is true, then that means Otaro has harmed a lot of people for the past decade. Without Otaro, the vessels wouldn't have existed, let alone the Oniwabon. This isn't the nicest way to put it, but he's the cause of this calamity.
Yeah, but then none of you would have existed. Without Otaro, my man Aaron wouldn't exist. Well, you guys, this version of it.
So unlike Ruriko, where her sins were all forgiven when she was purified, I'll always be guilty. by Otaro's side means you'll also share the burden of his crimes. Are you really prepared for that?
No, because I wasn't really thinking about that. At Tominari's final question, I suddenly thought of my mother. My mother, who was told by the gods that she had to abandon her family and clan in order to be with the man that she loved. But the fact that I was alive at this moment meant that, in that key moment, my mother chose love. Would I be able to make the same, no, an even heavier decision? I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
It's not an easy question to answer so immediately, and I haven't really had time to properly think it over. It does make it sad to think that the end of this could be like, yeah, we get to be with Otaro, but we have to run away and we can't be with our friends anymore and we have to go off and hide, and it's like, that's kind of sad. But like, he has caused a lot of fucking problems and killed a lot of people. But just because I can't give an answer now doesn't mean I can sit by and watch. I want to think about it after I've done what I can. Although that could just be my selfishness talking. There's also something I need to know, no matter what.
What is it?
This Netsuke, it might be something that my mother owned. As I muttered under my breath, I revealed the Netsuke that I had hidden away in my hand so that Tominari could also see it. I revealed the Netsuke that I had hidden in my hand. Okay. If it is, that means there's a connection between Otaro and I. And that's all the more reason not to leave him alone. Yeah, but you're going to leave Tominari alone and he's also your brother. I mean, what? Girl. God. I said the words to reaffirm my determination, and Tominari narrowed his eyes as if he were staring at something bright.
I'm proud of you, Spacey.
Huh? Said like an older brother.
I never expected you'd be thinking so clearly and concisely as you are now. I almost feel like I've been left behind.
We are going to leave you behind. Sorry, bro. That's not true. If I really have matured, it was only because you brought me out of that settlement. So, thank you, Tominari.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta give the bird a break. He's starting to get fidgety. I thought we maybe could get through the scene. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hold on. There you go. Good boy. Thank you. I know. You were sitting cuddling for a while, and I thought maybe, I'm like, maybe you'll be good for another minute. And then, yeah, I know. It's very hard. You're like, I don't know how to hold my poopies. You don't really. So, sorry, buddy. Okay. All right. Ah, shit. Okay. Hopefully the volume is okay. We didn't lose sound for a minute. The headset popped out a little bit, but it still shows that it's attached. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then Tominari gently patted me on the head as if I were a child. My mind was set. Confirming my feelings toward Otaro, I tightened my grip on the dog-shaped Netsuke once more. You couldn't have held out for like 30 seconds? Oh, chapter 7. This is the last chapter. And this is where we're going to stop it. So, anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.